Welcome, Taurus and Taurus Cross Watchers, to your reading for this week. So, hope you guys are having a great week and good day. Oh, okay. So, we got the Strength and the Two of Swords here. So, I'm just going to close that drawer. My apologies, guys. Let me turn the volume off there. Okay, so Taurus, I feel like you're kind of looking back at a situation here where it's almost like you can see that ignorance was bliss, but it doesn't necessarily feel like you're being really hard on yourself. It feels like you might be forgiving yourself for not having seen what you would have seen now. It's that like hindsight is 2020, right? And I feel like you may even be, it's almost like if you used to look back at yourself in this situation like really hard on yourself, I feel like you're looking back on it now with a much greater appreciation for yourself and who you are. And I feel like that seems to be, it's almost like either that made it easier for you to forgive yourself, or it's a result of forgiving yourself because there isn't shame attached to the situation anymore. You don't feel ashamed anymore. Well, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, so we have the Page of Pentacles here. Okay, so there's definitely somebody here that you're pretty disgusted with. It could be somebody new that's approaching you that is just not, they're not, I'm trying to find a nice way to say this because there's some pretty venomous energy coming off of you. It feels like you're kind of, you may feel like you're kind of out of this person's league, but not as like, Taurus thinks they're better than everybody. It feels more that it's like there may be a big age gap, or wherever the two of you are in your lives in terms of like, certain milestones that you're hitting, it feels very, very off. And I feel like it's just not something that you want at all. I feel like it feels like a unwelcome distraction from this really gorgeous, forgiveness and appreciation. It feels like whatever this is like, it feels like it's kind of ruining that vibe. Not that you're letting it ruin it and all that stuff, right? But it just feels like it's kind of it's definitely an unwelcome distraction. Oops, sorry. Okay, so I was asking, what about that situation in the past? Oh my gosh, are you okay? So we got the Six of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and then we had the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I'm kind of getting, Taurus, that you kind of didn't realize how much that situation was destroying you until you were further away. It's kind of one of those things where, you kind of get into a situation and little by little it starts to chip away at you, and you don't realize how much of your joy and how much of your soul it took from you in that time until you're out the other side and you realize how unhappy you were. That's kind of what I'm getting from this situation here. And I almost feel like, sometimes when we're in situations like that, it's like, oh, I wish I would have left sooner. I don't feel like you're stuck in that type of energy at all. And not that you wanted to sit in it for longer, of course. It just feels like it's one of those really great moments where like you healed from a situation and now you're legit washing your hands of it. You know what I mean? It's like that last little bit where you're gleaning the lessons and like the silver linings that are really making you feel good, before you you really let it go. I do want to say though, I feel like it was, for some of you, this was a life-changing situation, in terms of the lessons that you've learned. I feel like will permeate your decisions for a long time. Like it doesn't feel like, you learned not to walk this way in the living room so you don't stub your toe on the coffee table, right? It feels like it's something that has changed, how you interact with the world around you. Can we get one? Actually. So we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. I feel like you also may not have realized how much bloody work this person, connection, situation, I almost said situationship, and that's not really a word that's very common in my vocabulary, so take that for what it's worth. But I just feel like you're in this kind of delicate balance where whatever happened in the situation in the past happened. And sometimes when people experience situations like that, they can get really jaded and then they don't want to give anything to anybody, right? It's like they flip into that same toxic energy that they were receiving, and they take from people, but they don't give. And I don't feel like you're in that at all. And it just feels like, you're not looking for the next person to fill the void that was left by this other person. It feels like, as you move forward and there's new opportunities for you, I feel like you're really looking for that equal give and take, right? And it doesn't, not to say that like relationships don't require work, because they do, but I feel like you're going to be matching people's efforts moving forward. That's kind of I feel like there's a big, kind of like overarching theme here where you're not going to let things upset you. You're not going to let things get to you. It's like if something happens to somebody and they're less upset about it than you are, you're going to let it go. It feels like in the past, if somebody important to you, something was happening to them and you felt that it was very unjust, that's something that you would be really supportive about. And I feel like, that support was, not unwanted, but it was, or even unwarranted, but it was certainly unappreciated. That's for darn sure, because it's like, even you could be giving them the best support in the world, but they're looking for it, I'm kind of hearing, elsewhere. That doesn't mean that there was a third party. If that wasn't already an element, okay, I'm not feeling that either way. It just feels like whatever it was that you could support them in this way and it wouldn't have any effect, but this person could support them in the exact same way and they would respond to it. And I feel like that seems to be also like a signal to you that whatever happened, if that's how someone's behaving, it's really not about you, right? It's about this person. I know that sounds kind of strange. I'm almost hearing, whoops. It's like they just kind of didn't appreciate you. So whatever it was that you were trying to give them, they would kind of poo-poo it away, Like, So we have the Ten of Cups. I feel like you've got this really determined attitude here, like moving forward, happiness only. And not like, you expect only happiness to come towards you sort of thing. But that's the only thing that you're going to be letting into your life. And what's interesting here is we have the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and it was at the bottom of the deck the first round. So it's almost like things are coming full circle, but the faith in yourself, it feels like, and the confidence to handle yourself in a way that's more authentic to who you are, instead of however it happened in the past. It feels like you're more of yourself. And I feel like you're able to sense things in other people. It may feel, hold on for a sec. Here's the thing, Taurus, people that are really solid in themselves the way that you are, sometimes it can be difficult to find people that truly resonate with that, that feel like they're at that same place in their life. Um, and it may feel that way. It may not. But it feels like as you're moving forward, you're going to feel something start to pick up. You're going to start to feel it coming. And I feel like if you keep this attitude, this energy about it, it'll feel really great. If it does feel though that if you start to feel like it's going to be something really big, that it may kind of fall short of your expectations. So I think I'll leave it there, Taurus. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.